Hello everyone, I'm Thomas Williams, and I'm finally making due on my promise in making a sequel video to my vinyl collection series. Because last year in fall, I made a video going over my vinyl record collection. It's a collection that I'm incredibly proud of, both for the records that I have collected over the last 2 years and all the records that I have inherited from my grandparents when they originally bought them around the 60s and 70s. So yeah, this one, unlike my last video, I don't really want this one to be like an hour long, so I'm gonna get straight to it this time. So the first, collection I want to show off, the sub-collection of the huge collection, is something that I promised I was gonna do in my last video, and thankfully I was also able to make do on that promise as well, and that was getting a whole ton of my grandparents' Beach Boys records. And the first one I want to show off is Pet Sounds, like their masterpiece from the late 60s, and this is an album that I truly love. Almost every song off of this is great. I think, Wouldn't It Be Nice is one of the greatest openers of all time. Caroline No, like, also an incredible outro. I truly respect that they put in, like, some, like, natural sound in the end as well. Like, it's something that not a lot of artists were doing at the time, at least not ones that, weren't in the psychedelic rock scene. So this is an album that I really love. I'm so happy I got to spin it about like a month or two ago, and it was a truly unforgettable experience hearing it on vinyl because it is different than hearing it on YouTube. I'm gonna say that's gonna be a recurring thing throughout this whole video. And to get to some of the other albums that were from my grandparents, because there's one that I bought that I'm gonna get to last, but the first compilation album I want to get to is Endless Summer, which this one is primarily compiled of like all of their surf rock hits from the early to mid 60s. Let me look at the track list on the back, because like Surfing Safari, Surfer Girl, Surfing USA. Man, these Beach Boys do a whole lot of surfing. I guess it might just be me noticing it, but who knows? But I mean, also like I Get Around, Fun, In My Room. That's a good one. That's a good slow jam that they got right there, in my opinion. Be True to Your School. It's a little cheesy, but I love it. California Girls, another one. It's cheesy, but I love it. I feel like that's why, to me, I love the Beach Boys, because it's like, look, in modern standards, in the Big 26, the Beach Boys are a little corny, but who cares, man? Okay, it's good music. But the other compilation album that was originally owned by my grandparents was Good Vibrations, which pretty much departs from the surf rock era, and then kind of it's like the transitional period between, again, their traditional surf rock and then when they kind of went more experimental around the late 60s to like early 70s. That kept going until Brian Wilson unfortunately had to leave the band, and then Mike Love took over. I don't care about Mike Love, I'm sorry. But I mean, this album is also great. Like these last three, I've spun. In fact, I've spun all of these. The last one we're gonna get to, and like this one, I also love. God Only Knows. Honestly, one of the best songs off of Pet Sounds. Wish I brought it up sooner, but that one is also an absolute classic off of it. Sloop John B. Also another great song off of Pet Sounds. Also should have brought that up earlier. But Good Vibrations, pretty much like the title track for this compilation. I'm off of their one album, Smile. This one like floored me because the way the song is like designed is something you wouldn't expect from the Beach Boys, and that's why like I love it so much. And I mean, it's definitely a go-to for me. But to get to the last one, and this one I bought at Target around November, December of 2025, after I filmed the first one, and it was the very best of the Beach Boys. Sounds of Summer, which was their compilation album from 2003. And what I would honestly say, if you were to have any compilation album from the Beach Boys in your discography, it would be this one. This one pretty much, it covers everything. It even has Kokomo from '88, which, look, even though I said earlier I do not like Mike Love, I do think Kokomo is a decent song. If it's on the radio, if it's on in like the Spotify rotation, I'm not skipping to the next song or switching to a different station. I think it's a fun late '80s jam. But This one was also a really good listen. In fact, since I got it at Target, I know these like came with the these came with like the special like sea blue vinyls. I don't care if the camera reflection is gonna be in there because ooh, these are good. These are good. This is worth it. This is worth getting at Target. But yeah, that is my Beach Boys collection. It's one sub-collection in this overall bigger collection that I'm incredibly proud of because I do think the Beach Boys are a band that should be positively remembered. There is definitely a bit of a, complex history with them that they had accrued over the pretty much almost now like 60 years now their music's been out. But again, I think they deserve to be well remembered. It's good music, and good music should be well remembered. Unless if they are bad people. Kanye West. Man, for a pretty low-key video, there's gonna be a whole lot of hot takes. Darn. Okay. I might have to speed this up in post, because, man, this is not going back in the sleeve. Come on. Come on. Darn, how did I do it on the other side? Oh, easy, because I am not doing it on the correct side. Wow, so much easier. Okay, I'm probably not going to speed that up because I love to put my flubs. I love to put my flubs in the videos because, we're all human. We all make mistakes. I don't want to cut it out, I don't want to be selective with it. But the next one I want to get to is one that I asked for Christmas from my family members, and this is one that really interested me around. Wait, actually, no, it wasn't Christmas. It was my birthday. That was this February, and what really excited me about. It's one from the Beatles, their compilation album from 2000. The one that really excited me about getting this is the music video that came for this album, which was Come Together, where they use a whole bunch of computer graphics for it, and I thought it looked really cool. Yes, it's a little dated for 2000, of course it is, but I find the video incredibly charming and really captures the very kooky charm of Come Together very well. And also, before I even bought it, just putting it, bringing it open with a huge spread. Come on, that's cool. That's cool. You can't lie to me. That's cool. But yeah, this was an album that I might spin it tomorrow after I'm finished recording this. But yeah. Honestly, I think the track list is really good. It's a good combination of the best tracks off of the blue and red albums from '73, which I honestly see as their definitive compilations albums. This one is a close second, but the red and blue albums they come first for me. And the fact it's a little morbid, but I like to share this, at least post-breakup, this is the last Beatles project to ever come out in George Harrison's lifetime before his passing in late 2001. To actually get out of the way right now, since we're on George Harrison, one that I asked for from my mom, I think. One was from my mom, and the other is from my, unfortunately, now ex that I will not be mentioning further in this video. The one that I asked for from my mom was George's second solo album, Living in the Material World. I absolutely love this. I listened to this album for the first time in fall of 2024, and it was just a magical experience. I'm going to go up to the track list right now, because, Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth, I think that is an incredible opener and shows off some of his best talents. I might look down the track list a little bit. Be Here Now. I love Be Here Now. Be Here Now is a great track. I will say the title track is also good. I always have the chorus stuck in my head of the living in the material world. So yeah, I think this is a great album. If there was any album of his that I wanted to own on vinyl, it would be Living in the Material World. unfortunately, only because it's a single vinyl. I'd love to get his debut album post Beatles breakup, but that is a triple album, and I'm like, I don't got the money for that. No. But the other one I got in my collection is Let It Roll. His compilation album from 2005 that came out about 4 years after his passing. And honestly, I understand why there's like not even been another compilation album after this, because this is a pretty definitive collection of like all of his best songs. One that I really love that they have on here is actually what is kind of like the title track for this, which is Let It Roll, which is off of his first album, All Things Must Pass. I think that song is beautiful. I guess the actual name for it is, the ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp, who was one of the original owners of his one New England estate he bought around, I think, the late 70s or the early 80s. I would need to rewatch Martin Scorsese's documentary on George, which is Living in the Material World from 2011. Great watch, by the way. Both parts. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, dude, like Let It Roll, it's one of my favorites of his. It is so laid back. The soundscape for it does not sound like an album that came out in like the early 70s. It sounds like an album that was like, not the album, the song is like 10, 20, even like possibly 30 years ahead of its time in terms of like how the soundscape of it sounds. It is a beautiful song. Also, My Sweet Lord, All Things Must Pass, Any Road, love that off of his final album, Brainwashed, from 2002. That was a great one, especially Marwa Blues. That was one thing that shocked me, was how many Brainwashed songs were on here, since it's his last project, and you think it would be like, all the things he did at the beginning of his solo career. But no, this is a pretty, like, it covers a lot of ground for his solo career on this. This one, real good buy, in my opinion. Even though I haven't even listened to it yet. I did mainly because I've listened to all the songs on YouTube. But, yeah, let's move on. Say one thing that I got around December. We're actually making it to December, not about my birthday anymore. I'm getting it right. I'm not spreading misinformation on this video. But one thing was like two really good Elvis records. This I got from One Amazing Store back in my home state. Which is I think Spiders from Mars. Great secondhand vinyl shop back in Pennsylvania. So yeah, this is Elvis, which is I think the soundtrack album to the documentary that was put out about him around, I think, the early 80s, I would have to say. Yeah, early 80s would make sense. This one has a lot of really good songs, primarily again his best hits, along with a few other additions that you wouldn't really get off of any other compilation album. I have yet to actually spin it, but from the songs that I've listened to on YouTube that do show up on this, like, I think the time I get around to it, it will be really good. But the one that I really liked, the one that really caught my attention, was Elvis's 30 number one hits, which was, I think this one was from, 2002, which I love the original version of A Little Less Conversation. I honestly, as a bit of an elitist, a part of me almost prefers it, but Junkie XL's remix of it that he did in 2002, that I think was for like a FIFA Cup, or at least some type of like international soccer cup, like the remix he made for it, it does sound good. I will give him that. It's a good remix. Even if I might be a little caught up on which version I prefer, like, Junkie XL's remix of A Little Less Conversation is amazing, but everything else, like, you got just, like, everything on this album. You got Heartbreak Hotel, you got Hound Dog, you got Love Me Tender, you got Jailhouse Rock. Let's see, you got, you got Can't Help Falling in Love, one of the best ballads ever made. Let's see, Oh, You're the Devil in Disguise. That one, I do not listen to that one too often, but when I do listen to it, it's pretty fun. But I will say, like, side B on disc 2, that one, you got Burning Love, Wonder of You, Suspicious Minds, my favorite Elvis song. I love Suspicious Minds so much. Cause the way they remixed it for his biopic, where like you get like the opening credits of it, and like the WB logo flashes and all that stuff, and you just like hear it like just doused in like this like reverb that makes it sound dreamlike. It is, I love the Elvis movie. I don't care what anyone says. I thought that movie was great. The visuals to it were so imaginative. Is it the most honest portrayal? Is it the most historically accurate portrayal? No, but we don't go to biopics for that. I'm sorry to tell you, we don't go to biopics for the realism, okay? We go for it so we can see these larger-than-life characters that existed in our own real world, given, again, the film treatment that they deserve. I'm sorry to tell you that. Like, you might not think that that's the truth, but it is the truth. I'm sorry to tell you, bub. But to move on a bit, we're really covering a lot of ground here. One I said I would, in my last video that I was going to get, and thankfully I was able to during my time in PA in September, was Volume 4 from Black Sabbath. So now I have all of, jeez, throat's getting a little dry. I have all of Ozzy's Black Sabbath records from their self-titled debut all the way up to Sabotage, their 6th album. Again, I may or may not get like Technical Ecstasy or Never Say Die, but again, I've not heard the greatest things about them, and I don't want to buy a record for an album that I think is going to be okay. Since these things cost money and not like free clicks on YouTube, like you know. But I mean, Volume 4 goes without saying, it's the album that has changes on it, like one of the like best Black Sabbath songs ever. I will say I do not know any other song on this album just yet. When I listen to it, I will definitely probably have a really good opinion on it, because everything else from Black Sabbath around that period was absolutely amazing, and I don't expect that one to be any different, especially since Sabbath Bloody Sabbath came after, which also absolutely love and covered in my first video. I'll be real shameless and just like put a whole bunch of plugs, just put in a card. You know what, even though cards don't even exist on YouTube, I'll put in a card for it. One gift from Valentine's Day from He Who Must Not Be Named. Bark of the Moon, I think. Darn, I forgot which number it was in Ozzy's solo career, but yeah, Bark of the Moon. I saw this during one visit I made to a vinyl store here in Florida, and I thought, like, dude, this is probably gonna be my only time to get this at a reasonable price. So I asked him to get it for me. He thankfully did. Good for him. Yeah, I've yet to spin it yet, but when I do, I also think I'm gonna have a good opinion on this, because in my first video, I also went over that I had his first 2 solo albums, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman, which are 2 albums I also really, really love, especially Blizzard of Oz. Blizzard of Oz is a masterpiece in my opinion. But to keep moving on, another promise that I had from my last video that I've also stayed true to was getting all of the Bruce Springsteen records that my grandparents owned. And I got even a few more to kind of fill in the gaps, because after watching Bruce Springsteen's biopic, I wanted to really capture all of the albums from Bruce Springsteen's golden age, which I think was from his second album, which I'll show in a second, all the way up to I think I remember it was his last album in the 80s. But to go through it, we got Innocence, The Wild, The Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle. Again, have yet to listen to any of these, but I know when I actually do sit down to listen to all these, I bet I'll really love them, because Bruce Springsteen's biopic, I liked it very much. I'm unfortunately blanking on the name right now, but Jeremy Allen White, he did absolutely amazing as Springsteen. I honestly thought the film was an amazing portrayal of depression, incredibly accurate. As someone who suffers from it myself, it was a movie that I felt very moved by. I understand why other people wouldn't like it. It is very much a slow burn, and not one where there's something grand going on every second. Probably like how the Michael Jackson biopic is that just came out right now as of me recording this video. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's a movie that I don't need something to like happen every second. Like this is one. It was a movie where I'm like, I am happy that like it's really taking its time to build Bruce Springsteen up like as an actual like character and not just like, oh wow, a famous guy who exists in real life. But to go on to what was after, the Wild, the Innocent, the E Street Shuffle, Born to Run. I mean, I have listened to Born to Run. I think I have listened to a few Bruce Springsteen songs. Don't worry, I'm not a poser. This one I definitely cannot wait to listen to. This is like incredible, at least what I think for a third album. At least just by its reputation alone. Again, I can't wait to actually sit down and listen to it. Then after that, Darkest on the Edge of Town. Love this cover. Again, unfortunately, I haven't listened to it, but I will say, like, all of Springsteen's covers were great. This guy had, like, really good art direction during, again, like, this, like, huge golden streak, and that kept going with The River. This one, I think I have listened to Badlands, but it was a really, really long time ago. Nebraska, the one I'm most interested about, again, just, going to the biopic, I think it was like, no, it's not From Nowhere, it was something Nowhere. I'm so sad I'm blanking on the name right now. Editor Thomas will probably put it in for me and make me look really stupid. But hopefully when I get to this one, again, it'll really live up to the expectations. Honestly, the classic. This one, if it's gonna live to the expectations, it's Born in the USA. I'm gonna love this one regardless of how I feel about Nebraska. No, I'm not gonna make that joke. And then the last one, Tunnel of Love from '87, and what I honestly see, at least by the way I've seen kind of like rankings on. I think like my go-to is like classic rockandroll.com. As that is pretty much like Tunnel of Love is pretty much like the end of Bruce Springsteen's golden age, which is why I don't plan on going any further, especially since that you kind of get into the 90s and I'll admit I don't own a lot of 90s albums on record. I have like Nirvana's MTV Unplugged performance. I have Prince's Greatest Hits duology from '93. I think Queen's Greatest Hits. I don't know exactly when those came out, but I expect it to be the 90s. But I mean, that's really it. You know what? I'm gonna start. I'm accruing a bit of a huge pile, so I'm gonna just put these back where they need to be. You know what? I'm not gonna speed anything up in this video. You are all gonna watch this this in-depth process that's not even gonna be on screen. Because I just love you guys that much. It's like 3 in the morning. My probably like upstairs neighbors hate me right now. But who cares? This is art. I'm willing to put a lot on the line for art, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I'm just saying words. Words are just coming out of my mouth. That's what they're doing right now. That's what they're doing. The Garden of Love. I don't even know where that's from. I don't know. I'm just saying anything that's coming to mind right now. I'm filling the space. I'm filling the void. There's gonna be no dead air. The worst thing you do as a filmmaker. Well, not a filmmaker. It's more radio and nowadays, streaming. Worst thing you do is have dead air. Unless if you're like Pokemon or Asan. Or Asmongold. Nah, then you can just leave your setup for hours, and your chat just won't care. You can just go, probably eat an entire 5-course meal. They'll still be there. You'll still have 5K viewers because fuck them. Not for political reasons. Don't worry. This is a low-skill YouTube channel that's run by a 20-year-old. No one's watching this for political reasons. I don't know what I'm saying. You know what? We're gonna get up. We're gonna get up. We're gonna stretch a little bit. We're gonna stretch a little bit. Sit back down. Get back to it. Be Normal. What is next? This one I think was, this was, again, a Christmas gift from Hugh Must Not Be Named. Dylan and the Dead. Bob Dylan and the Grateful Dead's collab live album from '89, which was pretty much like around the point where the Grateful Dead really stepped away from making studio albums and like fully focused on touring live until Jerry Garcia's passing in '95, and Dylan just does what Dylan feels like doing. All right, but I will say this was a pretty decent album. This one was a really, really good album. It was great, honestly, like hearing a lot of like the classics from Bob Dylan, like Queen Jane Approximately, one of my favorites off of Highway 61 Revisited. Let's see, who else shows up on this album? We'll say, them doing a cover of All Along the Watchtower from Jimi Hendrix, and then one of Knocking on Heaven's Door, which was one of Bob Dylan's albums that he did with one of his bands that he did. But again, it was great, like hearing like a lot of these Bob Dylan classics, even the one Jimi Hendrix cover, which I mean I was kind of meh about, but it's still interesting just like hear Bob Dylan work with the Grateful Dead, like these just two like powerhouses of 60s rock, in the late 80s, like getting together on tour and like just putting together like this amazing like live show, and then later on translating into this live album. It's like really, it was a real interesting listen, and I covered it in my first video, but I also have the Grateful Dead's greatest hits that they put out in 2025, one of like probably like 1,000 compilation albums they put out. Honestly, their latest one, their greatest hits from 2025, that one is the best one because it really takes like the best out of their studio album run. It kind of condenses it to like one really good disc. But to move on, one that I got from PA during my Christmas time was Deja Vu from Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Now, if there's any album of theirs that you should own, it is this one. And not just because outside of this, the only other Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young album out there is American Dream, which, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I'm sorry to tell you that. It sucks. But, I mean, I don't know. I've never been interested in owning any of the Crosby, Stills, and Nash albums outside of the one, that they have with Neil Young. They're good albums in their own rights, but I don't know. They're not Deja Vu. This is a solid rock album from, I think, it probably was like the early 70s. This is just a classic. I don't know what else to say about it. Unfortunately, I don't really see the track list, so I can't really name any songs off the top of my head off of like Our House, which was a really good one from Nash. But I mean, yeah, again, absolute classic. So happy I have it in my collection. Let's move on. So let's see, I went over the Led Zeppelin album that I got from Target in my original video. But one that I asked for my dad for my birthday was John Lennon's Imagine. And I knew if I were to own any albums off of John Lennon's very short but incredibly impactful solo career, it would be Imagine. And he even got me a like special 2 LP set that comes with a whole lot of deluxe edition tracks and additional materials. So honestly, huge W for my dad on that. But again, it's Imagine, dude. Like, dude, give me some Truth. How Do You Sleep? Imagine itself. This album's a classic. I love it. It's great. It is, honestly, in its own right, it is John Lennon's best solo album. And same piece of advice I had for myself I'll give to you. If you were to own any vinyl from his solo career, it should be Imagine. Whether it's like the standard or the deluxe that my dad got me. Let's move on. So let's see, I already went over the Bad Company album, the Aerosmith, the David Bowie, the Van Halen. Yes, my music taste is incredibly odd. One that I got a recommendation from my one movie guy back in PA, Steve, was Yeah, My Aim Is True, the debut solo album from Elvis Costello. This was a pretty good random listen I had a few Saturdays ago. And this one was really good. Like the intro, Welcome to the Morning Week, I thought was a great way to start the album. I love Miracle Man. I absolutely loved The Angels Want to Wear My Red Shoes. Steve told me it was going to be an absolute classic when I listened to it, and he was right. This one was really good. I'd say I'd give this album like a good 8 out of 10. Great place to start for anyone who wants to get into Elvis Costello as a musician. Let's see, so right after this, one over the Rolling Stones one. I'll say again, I don't know if I referenced it in my original video, but the one thing I dislike about the Rolling Stones compilation that I have is that it was the US release of the compilation album, which meant Paint It Black was removed, which is a cardinal sin, because I think Paint It Black is one of like their best songs from the 60s. Ooh. So if I ever find Hackney Diamonds at a vinyl store, I definitely want to buy it. Because I'm telling you, dude, for like most of them like being in their 80s, Hackney Diamonds from I think it was like 2023 absolutely rocked. There we go. This is another one I got from Target. I have yet to spin this one, but yep, it is Chronicle, one of the readily available compilation albums from Creedence Clearwater Revival, one of like the most, I guess honestly I'd say, impactful bands from the late 60s, because these guys, they really just made a whole ton of hits in such a short window of time that it's incredible to see. I really like John Fogerty. I brought up in my first video that I got a Centerfield, which was another movie recommendation from my guy Steve. I listened to that about a few months ago, and just like a little sidetrack about Centerfield. I had like no idea like how impactful it was when it came out in '84. That apparently, it was like John Fogerty's like huge comeback after CCR's breakup in 71 or 72, and actually listening to it was absolutely amazing. It was pretty good, like roots rock, country rock that you would get from like the mid 80s, and I bet I'd feel the same when I finally listen to Chronicle. That's like really good roots rock from the late 60s. Yeah, because again, I'm like, Fortunate Son's good. Okay, good. I said it, get out of the way. Let's move on. Alright, so yeah, that one I've covered, that one I've covered. Oh, one small little gift from my dad. I think, yeah, this one was a Christmas gift. Circus by Erasure. I've yet to listen to it. It's definitely the more interesting side of the synth pop genre around the 80s, where, you kind of had people like Depeche Mode who are way more like darker, way more, atmospheric. They're way more about like, pretty much like the vibe of like that eeriness, kind of like. The one thing I've heard from my dad is that like Erasure, they were way more bubbly, they were way more, colorful. I mean, look at the album cover, kind of tells you. I've yet to really listen to this in full. I tried to spin it a few weeks ago, but I wasn't really able to kind of concentrate on it, so I was, saving it for another day. But one thing I want to like really applaud the sleeve for is this. I'm like, this is just good design. I love this. Even though I haven't listened to it, this rocks. I want to see this more in album releases, especially modern day ones from modern artists, even though I won't buy them, because I don't really like buying a lot of modern music on vinyl. Although when we get to the final record in this collection, I'll be one giant hypocrite, you'll see. Let's see. I'll just put that there. Yes, this one, another one I got from the same record store I got Bark on the Moon from. There we go. The Sickness by Disturbed. I love this album. I love it. It is one of my most favorite nu metal albums ever. Like I like Linkin Park. I like Marilyn Manson. I like Rob Zombie. I like a lot of the people in nu metal, but like, dude, Disturbed. This album was the thing that made me truly love like metal, because like the way I got into metal was after a very painful breakup when I was around like 17 years old in 2023, I listened to a whole ton of Deftones. And I still love the Deftones to this day. I think they're great, but like when it comes to their music, I kind of listen to them when I am a little sad, when I am a little angry. Like I rarely listen to like Deftones when I'm happy, but like Disturbed, this album changed that. This album makes me happy to listen to. No way you can't listen to Down with the Sickness and not have like a smile on your face when you are rocking out after like David hits that ooh wah. Come on. It's great. I love this album. Like, dude, Voices, amazing opening track. Dude, Stupidify, also amazing. Fear, I love the intro to that. That sounds they make it. You will watch me nerd out. Oh, let's see what else is good. Ooh, their cover of Shout was really good from Tears for Fears. That is one band I need to get finals for. I need to get finals for them. Meaning of Life, also great closer track, and I love it. Like, dude, this album, I'd say like the last time I listened to it last October, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. But this album is great. If I were to own any single metal album on vinyl, it'd be this one. Defining new metal album from the year 2000. I absolutely love it. So that's it for my one sub collection. Actually, no. From all the one-offs. Okay, there we go. This is where I'm the huge giant hypocrite. So a little bit of context, because a lot of this has all been pretty old school stuff, like stuff that like at most has been like 25 years old, 25 to like even almost like 60 years old. This, when I originally went to Target on this day, which I think, if I remember correctly, was March 12th. See, I thought this album was going to be like $35, $40 when I passed by it on the vinyl section. When I saw it was only $25, I was getting it. There was no question about it. It was going to be a part of my collection. And that is Arirang, the 6th album from BTS, the only K-pop album I have in this collection, because I listened to this album as soon as it dropped March 12th on midnight. And like a few hours later when I went over to like Target for fun, again, dude, I saw it, only $25. Dude, it's right here in my hands. I gave it a spin around like a month ago, and it was incredible. I mean, this album is amazing. Swim, perfect for a lead single. I like it. Body to Body, absolutely amazing opening track. Hooligan, it took me a while to like it, but when I came around to it, I loved it. And when they dropped the music video for it, it's good being a Jimin fan. I'm telling you. It is. Love Into the Sun, great final track for the album. Let me go actually. Please, also a great one, also a great deep cut along with One More Night. Fire, absolutely love it, especially since there's a fucking co-writing credit from JPEG Mafia. Let's see. I'll admit, Normal and Like Animals, I was not really crazy about. Merry-Go-Round, amazing beat from Tame Impala. Let's see, number 29. That one, I didn't think it was that significant at first, but when you actually do learn the history about it with Korean culture, it's absolutely amazing in my opinion. 2.0, I'm still kind of alright on it. Like, it still kind of needs to grow on me a bit, but yeah, dude, this classic. And also, again, since it's a Target buy, look at that, that's awesome, that's so cool. Yeah, I'm so happy I have this on vinyl. I'm telling you, this is the definition of an impulse buy. And it's an impulse buy that actually pays off. So yeah, this is the most recent vinyl that I have bought. In terms of, I think, when I actually got it and its actual release date out of all the ones a part of this collection. So after this, let's see, this one, there's not a lot more ground to cover. This one, Billy Joel's Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2. This I bought, I think I bought it before, like just like a few days before I watched And So It Goes, his 2-part documentary on HBO, which I heavily recommend. That was also an amazing watch, but I mean, like, this one, come on. Piano Man, Say Goodbye to Hollywood, New York State of Mind, The Stranger, Just the Way You Are. That's literally just side one, and all those are songs that I absolutely love. I mean, just getting like to even like side 2 of the first like disc, Moving Out, Only the Good Die Young, She's Always a Woman, My Life, Big Shot, You May Be Right. Again, all classics. You know, Still Rock and Roll to Me. Let's see, going down further. A few of these are also like real good hits, but I'm kind of waiting until I actually spin it to really enjoy these songs. But I mean, Uptown Girl, The Longest Time. I'm telling you this is an album that I knew I was going to buy because Billy Joel is someone I've been meaning to get into for a while, and it was around when I watched And So It Goes a few months ago that I realized, I'm like, oh man, this guy really is like awesome. This guy's like a really cool dude, and I can't wait to listen to this. But yeah, hopefully my buzz are not annoying to you guys. But yeah, again, in terms of compilation albums that I've already covered in my first video, again, Prince's duology, The Police's Greatest Hits, Queen's duology of Greatest Hits, The Cure's Greatest Hits. I did want to listen to it around October of last year, but unfortunately the past the opportunity really just came and went. And hopefully I'll get an opportunity to later. Guns N' Roses' Greatest Hits, I went on a whole tirade about them because I have some very complex feelings about them. Joy Division and New Order's Greatest Hits album. There we go. Yep, the last two. I'm just gonna grab both of them. So yeah, last video I was saying that I wanted to get more rap records because I had a Straight Outta Compton, and that was like the only rap record that I had. Thankfully, Target came in clutch. This isn't like an actual album that's listed on his official Wikipedia page, or even I think his Spotify or any of his streaming pages. But yeah, now playing with Notorious B.I.G., Biggie. I knew I wanted to get this because around last spring I listened to Ready to Die and Life After Death, his first 2 albums that he released in his lifetime, and then everything that came after was whatever the fuck that he did. But this one is good because I didn't want to get his greatest hits from 07 because that had a few songs off of Born Again, his 1999 posthumous album, which I just have no interest in listening to at all. I don't care if there's an Eminem feature on it. Like, again, it's just, it didn't come out during his lifetime. Most of the creative decisions were probably at the behest of, actually not the behest, probably like with the exact creative influence of Diddy. So again, I don't care. I'm not going to listen to it. But like this, dude, you got Juicy, Big Papa, Warning, the remix of One More Chance, Who Shot Ya, Hypnotized, Mo Money, More Problems. Notorious Thugs, one of my favorites off of Life After Death. Him and yeah, thanks Thugs and Hella Melodies. They all did amazing on that track. That's like one where I'm like, you know what? I excuse that this track is like 6 minutes long. It earns it. Going back to Cali and Sky's the Limit. I feel like, yeah, like this really like covers a whole ton of ground, and honestly some of the best songs off of his 2 albums that he released in his lifetime. I will definitely give this a spin at one point to test out the album I did listen to, Notorious Thugs, on this, and it sounds great. It sounds amazing. And the last one, which I bought, I think this one might be the most recent one I've bought. So, like, either that or Arirang. That, I don't even remember. But what it is the best of Miles Davis. Now, I listened to this a few weeks ago while I was working, just to have some music on, and I'm telling you, Miles Davis, I get lost in this man's playing. Like, this man is truly one of, like, the best, like, trumpet players to ever exist, man. Like, the way this man just created jazz from the 50s all the way up to like the late 80s is just truly incredible. Miles Davis, he's like one of those like real good like deep cut artists to get into because like his style of jazz was just like absolutely incredible. There was really no one else like him. It was really amazing that like he just got to like frequently collaborate with like John Coltrane before his passing. I'm telling you, like, this is just like really good. Like My Funny Valentine, one of his like all-time classics. Let's say like Around Midnight, that was also a really good one to finally listen to on vinyl, because I listened to it a whole bunch on his YouTube and Spotify, but actually getting to listen to it on the vinyl itself, it was like a really, really, really good experience. So yeah, honestly, this covers all the vinyls that are currently in my collection. Gonna look at it one more time before I stop recording because I want to see if there's any more center field examples where, like, there's an album that I covered in my first video, but I have a lot more to say about it. Oh, I will say I finally listened to In Search of the Lost Corvette Moody Blues. Absolutely amazing listen. Let me go to the track list real quick. House of Doors. House of Doors I absolutely love. That one was strange, but I really loved it. Voice. Just Paradise. Oh yeah, the B-side to this disc is honestly really serene and good. So yeah, I just wanted to provide my opinions on that real quick because I do think this is a truly incredible album. Let's see, anything else? Yeah. That's it. That's all I've got. So this is gonna wrap, I think, probably what's gonna be the 2026 edition of this. I definitely want to make a 2027 edition, so I'm gonna hold off from making any other sequel videos this year. And any other additional vinyls that I'm going to get, I will cover. And hopefully a third video, make this a trilogy, whoa, next year. But yeah, this is it. Nice, good 46-minute video. Peace.